So this is a fairly brand new product from a company called DTNo1, and the watch is called DT Ultra Mate. So what we'll do is we'll quickly unbox it and we'll see what comes in the box for around about 30 to 35 US dollars with the free shipping from AliExpress. The box itself is very good, it's very decent, it's very sturdy box. So if you're buying something like this for a present, be sure that the person who's going to receive this present from you, they will be excited and they actually appreciate the quality of the product. So inside of the box, you'll find the watch itself. Also, there's several options you can pick from. So as you can see, I have a silver watch with a blue bezel. Now you can choose between blue, green, silver, and I'm not sure, but I think there's a darker version as well. But so you've got, you get the hint of it. You can choose different colors and all that. And also there's absolutely a ton of option for different straps. So my watch came with a matching blue color strap. They are 22 millimeters wide. So if you wanted to buy a separate strap, just look for 22 millimeters. So mine came with a silicone strap. I also have a very easy to adjust a metallic strap like that. And I've also been sent a very standard buckle strap that looks like that. But in order for me to use it, I have to push out those pins to adjust the actual size of the strap. As a little gift from seller, I've got a little glass protector for the watch as well. And sure enough, the watch comes with a wireless charger that looks like that. It's basically an Apple Watch charger. And you do have a thing on this watch where if you place it on charge and you sort of put it sideways, the display will actually activate always on display. That will be sort of lit throughout the night, so you can have it like as a bedside table watch kind of thing. You'll be able to actually see the time whenever you wake up or whatever. There is an option like that, but you can either activate this option or deactivate depending on your preference. Right, let's talk about some of the key features of this watch. So first of all, this watch uses an application to connect to your phone, which is called Wearable. We will be taking a look at it later on. Also inside of this watch there are two Bluetooth modules, because one is used primarily to connect it to your phone. Second Bluetooth module is used only to connect your microphone and your speaker to your phone as well. To show you where the speakers are, it's those 5 little dots on the side of the case. Also right at the back at the bottom you can see a microphone cutout, and also if you look on this side and very carefully, there's another cutout for a secondary microphone. I will demonstrate to you how the microphone and how the speaker sounds later on. The watch comes with an impressive 1.5 inches display, round display. This is an AMOLED matrix as well, so the colors are vivid, the blacks are really dark and all those things, fantastic. The resolution of this screen is 454 pixels by 454 pixels. Inside of the watch you'll find the battery. The battery is 360 milliamp battery. Now, if you have absolutely everything turned on in this watch, then expect that the battery will discharge within a day, okay? That's very common for high-end watch as well. I know that a lot of older models from, like for instance, for Apple, like Apple Watch for instance, they would discharge within a day as well. Samsung would do the same, so this is no different. Now, if you deactivate the secondary Bluetooth module and you don't use this watch for phone calls, you just use it as a fitness tracker on a daily basis, then you should expect the battery to last between, I would say realistically speaking, between 3 to 5 working days, which is fantastic result. Because now I can charge it on and I can forget about this watch for a good 3 to 5 working days. I can be just walking around. It'll do just fine. It'll send the text messages to my screen. It'll take all the measurements that I wanted to take, so steps, calories, heart rate sensors and all those things. And the battery will still be there. And eventually I'll just pop it on to a wireless charger and it'll charge and it'll be absolutely fine to use again. That's everything about the internals of the watch. I'll show you the watch ever so closely again so you can actually appreciate the quality of the build. It's all metal. And now you probably noticed by now that the watch comes with 3 different buttons. Now these 2 buttons on my right, and basically on your right as well, they do a very standard option. So for instance, top button allows us to jump into main menu, whereas the bottom button allows us to jump into sports activities. So this is where you can scroll through and you can see all of the sports activities that are available within. just in case. The watch comes actually with a GPS module inside, so you can, what happens whenever you activate physical activity. So for instance, if I'm activating outdoor running, the GPS will kick in and it will take the reading, you know, sort of slightly more accurate about where you've been running and, you know, how long you've been running for and all those things. And also there is a built-in compass in this watch as well, which I will demonstrate later on. But now, what about this top button on my left? So by default, if you press that button, that takes you into your settings. Now, if we scroll all the way down here, like that was the top of the menu, for instance, I'll show you the languages in a minute as well. So if you scroll all the way down, you'll find this thing here. It says the side key settings. Okay, if I click on that, by default, it's set to settings. Now you can choose absolutely anything you want from this menu. And if we scroll down, so for instance, I think for myself, for instance, if you're someone who's busy and you come back from work and you need to set the alarm or whatever, or perhaps maybe you like you know, you're absolutely in love with listening to the music and you want to use this watch as a little remote control to swap your tracks, you know, to change your tracks. So for instance, I can go and set it for music. So now watch this. Every single time you're going to be pressing that left key button, okay, boom, music player activated. You've skipped your tracks, gone back, switched off your watch, and you carried on with your day. Now you don't like that track again, you want to switch it, boom, done. And you can do that all the time. So I'm quickly going to show you what's happening when you swipe things up and down, left and right. So from top to bottom, you have this very standard menu for your light. So for instance, for brightness, there are different settings. Mine's currently set at brightest because I think it suits this watch best. Obviously, when you set it at brightest, the battery power, you know, it will drain quicker. Torch is very simply activated. You just press on that, your screen turns white, and that's plenty enough to use during the night time. Settings, you've got your music player, alarm clock, do not disturb mode. Also, this icon here allows you to activate display by rotating your wrist. If that's not enough for you, all you have to do is you just press plus button down the bottom. And now if you carefully scroll down, you'll see things like Alipay, information, QR code to download the software, NFC to use to open the doors or whatever, but you can't use it for payments in Europe. So in China, you possibly could use that. However, in Europe, you won't be able to use that. SOS, water dispersion mode. So for instance, if you got caught in the water and water got into the speaker, you activate that and it starts vibrating the speakers and it should like push the water away. Lock screen. So for instance, if you don't want to for screen to be activated by false touches, so for instance by your sleeve or anything like that, you have to activate that mode with the lock on it, and every single time you would want to use the screen, you will have to put in the 4-digit PIN first of all, and only then you'll be able to use your screen. If you scroll from left to right, that gives you a quick access to information about your battery. So we can see we've got 60% left. We've got Alipay activation here. We've got our messages. If we did have any messages, they would be stored here. And we can also activate our phone. To do that, you need to press open. It will activate the Bluetooth module. You then have to go into your phone settings, into the Bluetooth settings, scroll all the way down, and you will see there will be like a call phone new device available. Click on that, it will activate it, and from there onwards you'll be able to, every single time you want to make a phone call, you just press on that, it will activate the secondary Bluetooth, you make your phone call, and everything will be fantastic. If you scroll from right to left, it shows you your activities for the day. Obviously this watch has been turned off. I've just turned it on. Now for heart rate sensor, I'm just going to cover it for a moment. It takes the readings. I found heart rate sensor to be a fairly good heart rate sensor. I didn't do it right. Yeah, readings are pretty solid every single time. You know, I haven't seen any mistakes, and I'll show you what happens. Look, you see that green light? As soon as I put my finger away, green light disappears. As soon as I cover it, it starts reading as well again. So you have to have this watch on your wrist, otherwise it's not going to work. Furthermore, you've got information about the weather. It gives you information for 5 days, basically today and the next 4 days. Super useful, super easy to use. And if that's not enough for you in this menu, if you press on plus at the end, you've got things like music player, you've got your oxygen blood reading, you've got your blood pressure reading, sleep tracking for the previous night, you've got air pressure reading, God knows how it does that. And you also have a breathing exercises there, just in case if it's something you might be able to use for your needs. Is when you scroll from from bottom to top. That gives you access to your multifunction. So for instance, anything that you've used on the watch right now, you can just jump into it. So for instance, compass or messages, I can jump into messages, or torch, alarm, ringtones and things like that. I can just, it's like multifunctioning kind of experience, you know what I mean? Now what we'll do now is we'll quickly jump into main menu. There are several styles of this main menu, and I will demonstrate to you as well. The way to change it is you can change it in settings if you wanted to, but the quickest way is to double tap the top button right here. Just watch what I'm doing. That's it. That's a different menu style. It's almost like an old school phones, isn't it, where you have to scroll it. Then you double tap again. That gives you a simple list menu. So for instance, that would be more useful for people who prefer to see the actual text right next to the icon, because it's easier to then understand what are you actually pressing on. You have this is a very weird menu. I don't like using it. The way you do it is you swipe up and down, and it's also almost like a tunnel kind of thing, you know? I don't know, it's just really trippy. It's like it changes. Oh, it's just, I don't like it. But some people, I suppose, would prefer that. You have also a menu style which looks like that. A square, a big square, an Apple Watch lookalike, and you can watch the animation for yourself to decide whether that's suitable. And we're back to the one I prefer to use. It's called a waterfall style menu, and you can just scroll it through, and it's easy to understand and all those things. So we'll go through all of the things available within here. So if I want to make a phone call, I press the green button. Obviously by that time I've activated the secondary Bluetooth module. It will kick in and it will give me the choice of either dialing the phone number directly, or I can jump into my phone book here. This is like a step count. It basically just shows you your achievements for the day. The little planet here with the clock gives you access to different time zones, so you can just take a look for yourself. So for instance, we'll jump into Europe, and those countries there, you know, you can see straight away what time it is there. It might be useful for some people. So yeah, sports modes, you've got all sorts of different heart rate reading settings and everything else. A lot of people ask me, is there a calculator available within the watch? Yes, there is a calculator available within this watch as well. Sleep tracking, weather, oxygen. You've got timer and stopwatch. You can use them, you know, easily and very easy to understand how to use it. However, the only thing I'm not a huge fan of is you can't leave the screen. You have to stay on the screen. So the screen will stay on, which means it will drain the battery a bit more. This icon here allows you to find your phone in case if you've lost it. Press on that and the phone will start vibrating and making noises. This is a breathing exercise. You've got this weird mode, which activates vibration only. I don't really know why would you use that for. Some people might know, and if you know, comment down below. Breathing exercise, as I mentioned. You've also got things like QR code to download the application form to use with your phone. You've got your compass. Compass has been activated. It will actually ask you to perform a miracle in the first place when you're going to activate the, when you're going to turn the watch. You're going to have to rotate it a few times for compass to actually find its way. Now, if we jump into settings, first of all, what I want to show you is the languages available within the watch itself. So you don't have to jump into software or anything like that. Just you can change these languages within the watch. So we start with these languages here, and I'm just going to carefully scroll through, just have a quick look and decide whether there's a language that you use, and whether you can make a use out of this watch for yourself. There we go. I think there's plenty of languages available, and you can just change them seamlessly. All you have to do is just press on that language, and that's it. The watch changed into a different language, which is fantastic. There are several watch faces pre-installed onto the watch, so we'll have a look at those right now. So it's currently activated. So what we'll do is I'll jump into the main screen just to give you a better idea of what the screen actually looks like. You can change the watch faces, the old-fashioned way, where you press long press the screen and then you swipe it, or you can use the crown to switch between different watch faces. You can see some of them are active, like there's animation going on, which is quite cool. I will also mention that the white watch faces are best seen at the direct sunlight. So if you want to use it in a lot of sunlight, then you stay with the white watch faces, white watch background, because they're clearly visible. And now let's say I prefer for this watch face to stay on. Okay, that's I've chosen this watch face. I want to use it constantly. I don't want it to change or anything like that. So several ways that this watch could possibly change. So for instance, if I was wearing this watch and underneath my sleeve somehow I've managed to long press the screen, okay, and then it changed to whatever, like this watch face here, for instance, and it just swapped, you know, that could possibly happen. Or the easiest way for watch face to get ruined is simply by doing this on the crown all day long under your sleeve. It's doing this. It's changing to a different watch face, and it just pisses you off. So you want to stay on one watch face, and you don't want to go any further than that. So all you have to do is long press the screen. Okay, you see that little lock sign here? Press on it. That's it. No matter what you do with this crown, the watch face will stay intact. Okay, it will stay on the screen. That's your watch face. It's not going to go away absolutely nowhere. So now that we've seen the internals of the watch, and I've actually shown you the externals of the watch as well, I think you had a good look of the build quality. I think the build quality is fantastic. Everything is metal. It's nice and heavy. It's solid. It looks really good on your wrist. It looks a lot more expensive than it actually is. So what we'll do now is we'll jump into Wear Pro app. I'll show you, settings that are available within the Wear Pro app, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to summarize today's video with my own thoughts about this particular product. So this is a quick demonstration about how Ultra Mate microphones will sound. It's about 10 centimeters or 15 centimeters away from my face, and I'm speaking absolutely calmly. I'm not shouting, and the environment around me is just ambient. And that's pretty much how your voice will be heard by the people who's going to be talking to you over the phone. Right, let's have a look at the Wear Pro app. On the first page, you'll find things like physical activities, your achievements, and things like that. Heart rate sensors, sleep tracking for the previous night, and all those things. Down the bottom, it's very important, you've got some exercise classes. They're absolutely free to use, okay, and there's absolutely tons of different exercises. When you're gonna get, and if you're gonna get with this watch, by all means just go through it and have a look at things that are available here. They can seriously help you to sort of bring your body up to a real good shape in no time, because you can follow these exercises and you can set different timings and things like that, and it will be really, really good for you. Now, if we jump into second page, this is where you can manually activate physical activities when you're ready to do them. So for instance, by default, we've got running, so outdoor or indoor, you choose between those two. Walking, cycling, climbing, hit go. It will activate GPS module inside of the watch and all those things, and it's going to start tracking everything. On the third page, we can see that the watch being connected to our phone. Very standard, very simple. We'll look at the watch faces in just a second. You can use this watch as a remote control to take pictures of yourself or take videos of yourself if need be. You can activate for incoming calls and text messages to come through from your phone onto your watch. Also app notifications, if you jump into this list, activate it first. You can toggle all of those social medias here. If that's not enough, or the social media of your choice is not here, it's not available, all you have to do is toggle others just here, and that will allow for all the information from your phone to be sent onto your watch. You can manipulate the settings for heart rate readings and things like that. Then you've got your frequent contacts. This is where you can add up to 2,000 contacts to be stored on your watch, and then you can dial them at any time given. You've got tilt to wake option as well. You've got NFC. You can't use it for payments in Europe. You can only use it for things like opening the doors or tagging certain things and blah, blah, blah. Now you've got do not disturb mode, and you can set it as well to different preferences of yours, different reminders. And definitely when you're going to get your watch, make sure you do the firmware update, because it will be available. Mine is currently at the latest. Yours will have to be updated. Now let's go to watch faces. Very simple, very straightforward. You can choose watch faces from the main menu, which you'll find down here, or you can jump into those sub menus. So for instance, hold recommended. I think this is the best. A lot of watch faces are really good quality, and I'm sure as someone who is very, very picky about their watch faces, I'm sure you'll find the watch faces of your own preferences. They're all free. You don't have to pay a penny for it, and they are expanding every single week. New watch faces being added, and it's like I said, you can just scroll through a lot of them, and you'll find a watch face that will be suitable for your needs. I mean, look at this, just endless library, absolutely endless, like loads of them, more than 250 watch faces easily in here. So I think by now you have a good idea about this watch and the application that it uses, and whether this is something you could possibly buy for yourself or as a present for someone who you care about. Things to remind you. First of all, you can choose different bezels. You don't have to go for blue. You can go for a conservative silver. You can go for green or blue. It's up to you to decide. The screen is nice and vivid. Obviously, this is an AMOLED matrix, so colors do look really, really good on this. Brightness, it's bright enough for majority of situations. The only time you're probably going to struggle to see the screen is in a very, very bright direct sunlight, which doesn't happen 100% every single day of the year. The build quality is solid. You do get a choice of different straps. This is a very unique strap because, as you can see, the end is a bit different, because what you have to do with this strap here is almost like I can't explain it, but all you have to do with this one is almost like a false strap, because all you have to do is you just push it in to the width of your wrist and then you just click it in. As simple as that. But this strap I would highly recommend. It's really, really nice strap. Sensors are very standard, okay? Heart rate sensor, blood pressure sensor. This is not a medical equipment, okay? This is not something you'll find in hospitals. This is not something that you would pay for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, or maybe even thousands of dollars. But it gives you a brief idea of, what's going on with your heart, how many steps roughly you've done for a day, and all those things as a generally a good fitness tracker. I think this watch is fantastic. Very solid, very nice, and for the price you really can't go wrong. $30 US on sale, I think it's a fantastic choice. And like I said, the box is good as well, so it will look really nice in terms of a present for someone. So guys, I think we're gonna wrap up on this moment. In a few words, I would highly recommend this product. I think it's a good product. If I have missed anything that you are curious about, by all means, give me a shout in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as possible. And until the next video, guys, I'll see you later. And thank you for subscribing, and thank you for staying tuned with my videos on this channel. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you later.